And now, please welcome your hosts, Amy and Trey Cassels.
Hey everyone, it's Amy Cassels.
Hello, hello.
We have a very special guest today, our daughter, our beautiful daughter, Averi Cassels.
Hey y'all.
Hey, y'all.
Hey y'all.
This is Avery Bell Cassels,
I didn't say
ABC.
it like that.
We have Averi on here today to talk about Texas Brigades. And she is going to tell us what it is and what it's all about and how she's been involved and how others can get involved too. So Averi, go ahead.
So I went to Texas Brigades in July. And so basically Texas Brigades is a nonprofit organization and they focus on making conservation leaders in every community. So they have 9 different camps all throughout the state of Texas, ranges from ages 13 to 17, and they focus on different things. So the one I went to is North Texas Buckskin Brigades, and we focused on the white-tailed deer.
Nice.
And the other one that I went to 2 years ago was Bobwhite Brigade, and we focused on quail. You got any questions? About what I did or something like that?
Okay, so hold on. You went to one 2 years ago, and it was all about quail, and you went to one this year, and it was all about white-tailed deer. Mm-hmm. When you say all about, I mean, what exactly does that involve? So July was your most recent one. That's going to be what you remember the most. So tell us about what you did at that camp.
Well, the first thing we did is when we got there, obviously, like, we did the intro, whatever. But we went out to the field, and they had shot two white-tailed deer the day before, and we dissected one, and we learned how to harvest the other. Really? And so we weren't even there for an hour and a half before we were learning about the entire anatomy of the deer. And the camp is very competitive. So everything's based on points. So based on that knowledge of what we learned that day, we went right back to the classroom, and within an hour we had trivia over plants and all the types of the deer, and that's based on top covey, which our herd composure, we were called herds. So our composure was we had a leader, and then we had an assistant leader, and then we had 4 or 5, we were called cadets. And so the assistant leader was someone who had been back that year and completed a BOA, which is a Book of Accomplishments, which is what I'm here doing this for, to come back as an assistant leader. And then a herd leader is someone who is a specialist in the field of white-tailed deer, basically.
Okay. All right. So
there's a lot of parts to it.
There are a lot of parts to it. Now, here's my question. Is it sponsored by the Texas Parks and Wildlife?
Yes.
Okay, so this is a division of the Texas Parks and Wildlife?
No.
It's not. Okay, it's just sponsored by.
It's a separate organization that they're sponsored with, just like the water company, NRCS, they sponsor kids, but they're not a part of Texas Brigades. They give them money so kids can go to the camp.
Okay, so each camp has a different focus. So if you went to the coastal Texas Brigades, then you would be able to learn about fish or something.
Yes, I learned about everything.
Fish or something?
Fish, whatever. I learned about everything coastal, yeah.
Oh
basically.
My gosh, I love this for you. Okay, well, how did you get qualified? Well, first off, how did you even find out about this camp?
Miss Danny,
Aww.
7th grade.
Always that teacher that you love so much that does something to encourage a student. I think that's amazing.
So she took you guys to get your hunter certification as well.
Miss Danny, yeah, she did our hunter certification. She did that
in Huntsville.
She was the person that they actually offer that too. If you come at, I think it's 3 hours before you're supposed to come during the camp, they will certify you because you have to be certified for hunter's education before you go. You either have to have it or you get certified there, and firearm safety, because if you're not, obviously we work with firearms.
But this is not something that just everybody can sign up for. I mean, you have to qualify. You have to do something that gets you in. What did you have to do?
You have to write 2 essays, at least 350 words.
And what were the essays on?
There were 2 topics. One was what is a conservation leader in your community? Like, how can you become a better conservation leader in your community, and what is a conservation leader to you? And then the other one was what is the biggest natural resource problem facing your generation? And I wrote about biodiversity loss, specifically in our oceans.
Really big word. Biodiversity loss, specifically in our oceans.
Yeah.
That's what you wrote about that got you into the camp?
Those 2 papers.
Okay, so you wrote 2 different ones for each camp. Did you have to do it for the second camp as well, or did you automatically qualify because you got in the first one?
No, you got to do it each time.
You know what I love?
It's really not that hard.
Well, you're just good at what you do, so don't diminish that.
And you've always been good at writing. Maybe not so much spelling, but definitely at writing.
Hey, I get that from Dad.
But at least
that's fair.
At least there's spell check. No, what I was so proud of you for was the fact that it was spring break and you were down at Mimi and Poppy's house, and I talked to you one day and I said, "What are you doing?" And you said, "Oh, I'm writing my paper for Texas Brigades."
Yeah, that was the day. Actually, here's the funny thing. On the March 13th, it's due March 15th. It was probably 11:30 at night, and I was bored, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to write my Brigades paper because I feel like doing it. And so I wrote both of them, and then I woke up on the 14th, and I was like, you know what? I'm turning this in today because I know if I don't turn it on the 15th, I don't want to be that person that turns it on the 15th because I was the person 2 years ago to turn it in on 11:59 on the 14th. So I didn't want to do that again.
Let me get this straight. The first year you turned it in with a minute to spare.
Yeah.
And then the second year you're like, hey, I don't want to be that person again, so I'm going to start it a day before.
A day? So hold on. Did you think that you were being proactive?
Well, okay. So I started it.
Were you proud of yourself that you did it a day before instead of a minute before?
I started it. At first, I started it 6 months before it was due. And then I was like, I don't want to do it anymore.
I got plenty of time.
Yeah, I got plenty of time. So then I forgot about it. And then I remembered it because I couldn't sleep and I was bored. So I just got on my phone and did it. And then I woke up the next...
You wrote the paper on your phone?
Yeah. And then... oh my gosh. Next day...
Small details.
the next...
Did Mimi proof it?
That's what I'm trying to say. The next day, Mimi proofed it, and then I turned it in that day.
In case y'all didn't know, Mimi is Trey's mother, and she was an English teacher for 35 years. So she is the best proofer.
She would actually get into battles with my English teachers in high school and in college when she would proof my papers and they would come back with any kind of red ink on them. She wanted to go after the teachers for red inking her. It was awesome. So Mimi definitely is the best proofer out of all of them.
Okay, I have a question about something, and maybe people will be thinking the same thing that I was thinking, but you said that when you got there, they had shot the deer 2 days prior, and then y'all dissected one and then the other one. Did y'all eat that one?
No, we just learned how to harvest it.
Okay, because that's right. You said you harvest it, and I'm like, that you can't you can't do that, right? Like if you're gonna shoot a deer,
they're gonna have it in the freezer, babe.
So. Oh. Okay, so was not deer season. So the only reason they were allowed to shoot these 2 deer was because they had a what's it called? What's the word?
Probably like a permit or a certificate.
That's what it's called. Yeah, they had a permit to shoot those deer for educational purposes. So they had to go out and get that, pay for it, go to the classes to do it, and it's this long process. So that's the only reason they were able to shoot those 2 deer off season. In case anybody was wondering.
Oh, yes.
A couple of them got ran over on the way over there, so they just hauled them over to the group.
Didn't you have a friend that somebody hit the deer and it was like fresh, and he goes over there and gets the backstrap off of it before the cops came?
I cannot confirm nor deny that.
Wasn't that one of your friends?
Should we may or may not have known someone
that's
done that.
That is criminal offense, Mom.
Should we name that on their podcast?
No.
Okay. Well, I'm really, really, really proud of you for doing this. And next year, okay, you're 16 now, so hopefully they will allow you to go to 2 more Texas Brigades because you're going to turn 17 this summer, but if you could go to a June Brigades, you'll still be 16, and then the next summer, you'll be still 17.
Because my birthday is in the middle, so it's like half of them are before, half of them are after.
Well, we'll just have to... Hopefully
Maybe I'll put in parentheses on the bottom, like, please let me go to June camp.
Yeah, while you're still 16, and then that way you can get another one at 17.
I had this all planned out at camp.
All right, so speaking of a plan, if you turned it in a minute before the first year and then a day before the second year, are you planning on doing it a little sooner this coming year?
Yes.
Yes.
There we go.
Okay. When you're at Brigades Camp and you're learning all of this stuff about all this information about agriculture and science, how's the food? Of course,
This year,
Seriously.
the food was decent.
Oh, cover your ears to the chef. She went
sorry.
and specially bought you gluten-free
Love you,
food.
Tyler's mom. You were so sweet. But
Oh, this was a setup. You just set her up.
you just wow.
No,
I
I
don't
didn't
remember the
mean
other
to.
chef's name, but well, the year before, do you remember that? Whenever you came up to go pick me up, they made everyone dinner, and he put sweet cream in the mac and cheese instead of heavy cream, dairy-free heavy cream. So he put dairy-free vanilla creamer in the mac and cheese instead of. Oh, it was terrible.
So
But it had a
everybody
nice taste to it.
I think everybody's done that at some point, like tried to make a fettuccine Alfredo
funny.
or mac and cheese, and then it's like sugary.
Well, obviously, I'm gluten-free and dairy-free and whatever-free, so it wasn't, I mean, she did the best she could. It was good, but I bet you the original food, like the real food, was really good.
Well, the first
The real
year,
food.
the first year,
The normal people food.
Yeah.
the first year that I went and picked you up at camp, they had smoked a bunch of chicken and quail, and there were some big
Yeah.
country boys in there that cooked it for y'all. And what I also liked is that the camps that I saw you brought to were basically private ranches with
Yes.
these huge ranch houses that are made for specifically for big hunting groups to come out to.
So the ranch that we were on, they had specifically made and built a whole new facility just for Texas Brigades to come out
Wow.
in those camps because they've been doing it for 18 years. So the facility that we were in, y'all weren't there to pick me up. Somebody else picked me up. But y'all would have seen the facility, and they built new, they built new everything. And it was like a breakfast and dine. No, sleep and dine.
Bed breakfast.
Bed and breakfast. I knew that.
There we go.
It was like a bed and breakfast the way they had it set up. And for the girls, we had it was really nice too because we did not have to walk very far. We had the dining room and kitchen and everything in the bottom, and then we went up the flight of stairs, and there was like the pool tables, and then there was us 6 rooms, and then the boys had their rooms in the classroom, and it was just a hallway from the classroom with their bathrooms, and then sorry, my throat, and then the rooms over there.
Well, I love
Sounds
it. And you have been able to go for 2 years now, so hopefully you can go for 2 more. What I really love is that you have gotten to get hands-on education, and that hands-on education is so much better than what you could have learned out of a book or just out of a classroom. Hands-on education where you were just immersed in it. You probably learned more in that Texas Brigades camp than you do an entire semester at school.
And their motto is, tell me and I forget, show me, wait, no, hold on. Tell me and I'll forget, show me and I'll remember, involve me and I'll understand.
I love it.
So they do every single one of those, and that's what that's the beauty of the classroom, because they'll show us the information, and then they'll teach it to us, and they'll give us instructions and stuff, but then they take us outside into the field, and we actually do field work with the professionals that do this every single day. So one of my favorite things about it is everyone was in a circle, and we talked about problems that our conservation is happening right now for the white-tailed deer, and we talked about those problems all in that circle for 2 hours. So we had a microphone, and we all just if we had an idea, we talked about a lot of controversial things, just to list one, high fencing and low fencing, if it should be allowed if it's still hunting, if you're hunting in a high fenced area versus a low fenced area. So we talked about things like that, and that was my favorite part because it was really cool to see the different perspectives and the people that actually work with those things and work with those people and those types of owners, to see them and their perspectives on those types of things.
I know why you liked it. It's because it could turn into back and forth debate.
There was
and
a fun
you
back and forth
just
debate.
love
And I love
the debate.
Love that argument, I'm sure.
I did
Where
have
you
a
get
good
that
argument
from?
with some of the kids, and it
Well,
was really fun.
How can someone find out more about Texas Brigades and possibly even have their child apply?
Look up TexasBrigades.com.
Is it .com or .org?
Just look up Texas Brigades, and you'll get it.
It's actually TexasBrigades.org.
What does it say right there on that big flyer you have?
Yeah, the big flyer that's sitting in front of me. TexasBrigades.org. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hey, last question for me. You got to experience quail, and you got to experience white-tailed deer. Out of the two, if you had to go hunt them, what would you hunt?
A mammal.
What would you prefer to hunt?
Oh, deer.
The deer?
Definitely deer.
Okay. Have you? But you haven't gone quail hunting yet.
I haven't gone deer hunting yet. I'm going to go deer hunting, but I haven't gone yet.
Well, we'll knock
Take
some
your
of those.
daughter deer hunting.
That's all I have.
Call yourself a Texas father?
Good Lord.
I know, he's always like...
Take
he's
your
always
butt back to
yeah,
Oregon.
We'll go hunting, and I'm like, it's deer season. He's like, oh, maybe next year. Like...
I didn't say maybe next year.
Okay, hold on. I just want to say I just looked on this thing on this flyer. It says camp application period November 1st through March 15th. And each year she's turned it in on the last 2 days. I thought it like opened up for 2 weeks. No.
You got like 6 months to do it.
Oh my gosh,
It's pretty
Avery.
nice, actually.
Cheese and crackers. Where do
I
you
work better under pressure.
Oh my gosh, she's one of us. She is one of us. Okay. Thank you so much for coming on our podcast, Avery, and talking about this amazing camp. Get started on your paper. We love you.
Love
Thank
you.
you for coming.
Proud of you.
All right, so now it's just Trey and I, and we have a few more other things to talk about. A few more other.
You are just out of it.
You know what? Listen, podcasting is hard. You have to not slur your speech, talk clearly, and be able to think clearly.
We've done over 100 of these, Amy.
Yeah, I know.
Stop giving excuses.
And you know what?
Tighten up.
The second that
Tighten
it gets
up.
easy and boring is whenever you've lost your passion. So I have passion. All right.
What would you like to talk
this
about
was
next?
perfect for her coming in here to talk because one of the topics that I wrote was teenagers and driving. Can I just say I was never prepared for the amount of driving with teenagers, but from my understanding, life is about to change dramatically because
Can't wait.
that girl's about to, have her license.
I'm just thinking of all of the time blocks that we have set aside on a daily and weekly basis, and we're literally about to get 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
15
Yeah, that's a
minimum
part-time job.
hours a week back to ourselves.
What is it going to look like?
I'll just plug it right back into River round 3.
Yeah, that's true.
We got to get him. We can't sign him up for anything right now because the bandwidth of getting us to and from where Evan and Avery are is at the same time blocks that River would be at. So he's just kind of in standstill waiting.
Yeah, well, he's only first grade. He's fine.
He's chilling. He's having
we
fun.
could still wait for a little bit. We don't have to sign him up for anything. But anyway, yeah, I hear that it's going to be a life changer, but it's also bittersweet too because that's the time that we spend with our kids is in the car.
Yeah, we're losing 15 hours a week with them.
Yeah.
So we talked about this last night. It's like, okay, if we're not now driving them around and getting home at 6 and 7 o'clock at night, when they get home, you and I have to have all of our stuff done so we have a very purposeful block of the rest of the evening with them. Because now it's going to only be 7 to 9. And so dinner and, bedtime time, all that time in there, we've got to figure out ways to stay involved with them because we're not going to have that drive time with them anymore.
Well, this year, 2023, I had my overall goal was to be intentional with my time. And I have accomplished that because of my new organization structure. I'm using my iPad and I have an Apple Pen.
That thing's been a game changer.
It's been a game changer for me. I use a program called Good Notes, and you can download digital planners in it, and you can download digital notebooks. So each notebook it's a digital notebook. Each notebook I have for a different subject, and then I have my planner that I can plan out my day. I mean, 6 a.m., 6:30 a.m., 7 a.m. And I can write in whatever color ink I want to, obviously digital, highlight, draw, doodle, whatever.
Sorry, you lost me at like your fourth planner that's digitally downloaded.
Whatever. There's like actually...
No, I know. You literally would have 5 or 6 books and you'd be writing in each of them. And then it's like, I don't even know how you do any of it. And then when all of it came together in one, was like, that makes sense to me. The other ones didn't.
Well, I would have a notebook for just podcast. And then I would have a notebook for just my mastermind coaching group. And then I would have a notebook that was just for the family notes. But depending on where I was, if I was needing to write a note about something, I would pick up the only notebook that was with me. Otherwise, I'm carrying 6 notebooks with me all the time.
You need a little backpack full of your books from school.
Yes, it was ridiculous. I'd leave my house with all this stuff. Now I just have my iPad with me 24/7, and I absolutely love it. So my whole point, being intentional with my time, is what my goal was for 2023. And I finally feel like I am actually being intentional. And I want to do that when Averi gets her license, so that, like you said, we're gaining this extra time, but I want to use it wisely. Great power comes great responsibility. And then...
What movie was that from?
Spider-Man.
Thank you.
Jeez, I know my Marvel movies. You drag me to every single one of them.
I did not drag you to every single one of them.
I love going to the movies, and I love Marvels.
And we love our family time, and we did 1 through 22 and watched them all in sequential order. That was fun.
So I feel like once the kids get home from their practices or school and they're driving, we're going to be ready for them. And we'll be like, okay, dinner's ready, game night, whatever. Let's go for a walk or do whatever.
Let's go for a walk without them?
With them.
I'm not going for a walk with them.
Whatever. You know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. Okay, I want to talk about a few things that are new. Number one is something that Dr. Bonnie Huber and I started. It is called the Limitless Hike. And these are guided hikes for personal development. We are basically bringing the classroom into nature. And we have set up hikes where different points along the way, we talk about... we'll have one overall subject, but we'll talk about a portion of that subject at each stop. And then it builds to an ending where you'll understand the completion of the topic that we're bringing forward. And everybody gets a little notebook and a little backpack and pen and whatever other goodies that we can get a hold of to put in the backpack. And so far, the response has been amazing. And it's honestly... I love personal development. I love nature. I love exercise. And I love being able to spend time with other women. And this has brought all of that together.
That's awesome. No, I've saw some of the videos, and I've seen the impact and the attendance of the people that have come. And it's been really cool to see, because I know you put a lot of hard work into it.
If you would like to follow us on Instagram, look up our user handle, which is @TheLimitlessHike. And the next thing that I'm working on, or I've been working on, is health coaching groups. So right now we have about a week left of a group called the Wellness Collective. The Fall Wellness Collective is what I called it. And this is basically a health coaching group where they were able to get fitness, they were able to get nutrition, and they're able to get my health coaching throughout the 6 weeks. The overall goal of this is not to be a challenge where you are 100% on for 6 weeks, because I don't believe that that's necessarily sustainable for everyone. Usually what happens is they go so hard and every other part of their life was put on the back burner because they committed to this, this challenge that they're doing. And then when the challenge is over, they've ignored so many other aspects of their life that they have to now ignore the health and the fitness, and then they're off again.
Back to normal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about there.
So my goal is to give you the tools that you need so that once the 6 weeks is over, you have a action plan to now carry you forward for a true lifestyle change and adjustment. It's been really great so far, and with pretty much every single person in the group, life has come up. and they're like, I did great for 2 weeks, and then somebody got sick, and then after somebody got sick in the house, a kid, now they got sick, and then after they got sick, then it was somebody came into town. So you've got 2 weeks there. So they did great for 2 weeks, and then for 2 weeks they're thrown off. And my job is to say, hey, this is completely normal. This is life. And even if during this time period you were only able to put forward 30% effort, that is you still have your eye on the prize. And once that 2 weeks is over of all the crap that's happening in life, now you're able to pick back up and be able to get back on. And it may only be 70%, but that's okay. Because I would rather see someone on average be able to live a healthy lifestyle 70 to 80% of the time versus 100% on and 100% off. Because people...
That's not realistic.
It's not... Well, actually, that's the way most people live, is 100% on to do some sort of challenge or New Year's resolution, and then they're 100% off. And that 100% off is really, really off. And that's the yo-yo.
No, I've struggled with that, I guess, in my life. I've focused in this year on balance. Mm-hmm. Really trying to take, the categories or the theaters or the sections, whatever you want to call it in my life, and try and provide balance in each of those. Because I would take 5 to 6 things that I want to do in different categories, and only 1 or 2 of them was getting the 100% of my attention, and the other was getting nothing or a little bit. And it was just this deep valleys, high peaks, instead of kind of getting the balance of each of them and being able to do certain percentages in each category that's consistent. May not be the percentage I want, but at least I'm consistently maintaining a level that I'm comfortable with. And then my valleys didn't go down as low, and my peaks didn't go down as high, and I felt like a more ebb and flow with my days and my weeks. It's been a lot better.
And I think that you have maintained your health so much better this way than you did in the years past.
I shortened it. I condensed it. I'm getting less time with more value out of it, as opposed to doing more time, very intense, and getting very small peaks out of it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Because I'll do 20 minutes of something as opposed to an hour of something, and I'd rather get 20 minutes in than nothing, because it would be, I don't have an hour to give, so I'm not going to do it at all. Well, no, I have 20 minutes to give, so I'll go do 20 minutes of it, and then that's all I got that day. And being emotionally, mentally, and physically okay with that is where that's helped me tremendously. Because mentally before, if I was trying to get an hour in to go work out and I couldn't do it, I would be upset. I would get angry. I would get frustrated that I'm not able to accomplish that. And instead of having that negative emotion around it, I would spin it into a positive emotion. It was like, hey, I didn't get an hour, but I got 20 minutes in. That's great. I got something out of what I would normally get nothing out of. So that balance, just from the thought process, has taken me out of those deep valleys that I get into.
And I think it's freeing. It's actually freeing for your mind and your body to think of, hey, it's okay to just do 20 or 30 minutes, even if I can't do the full hour. It's okay.
That's very freeing. I mean, especially for someone with my, I don't know how a lot of people are. I'm overcritical of myself. I'm very competitive. I set a goal. I'm very determined to hit that goal, and if I don't, I'm affected negatively or positively heavily when I hit it. So if I hit the goal, I'm affected very heavily. If I don't hit it, I'm affected very heavily. So that's that high peak and that high valley. Well, when I set a goal now, I set an intention without necessarily expectations of it. The intention is to try and hit the goal the best way that I can. And if I don't accomplish that, I'm not beating myself up. I'm still moving forward towards that goal. It's just pushing the deadline out or altering it or changing it a little bit. So it's having realistic expectations or intentions about the goals that I do set.
Yeah, this is actually what I talked about a few episodes ago, talking about intentions versus expectations. It's very easy to get hung up on not when you have an expectation and that doesn't get met. You get really, really disappointed, and it can throw you off. And if you have an intention, so if my intention is to get my exercise in for the week and eat the best that I can, and maybe lose some pounds along the way, hopefully that's the goal, right? But if I only have the expectation of losing some pounds and I did everything that I needed to do, but I didn't lose the pounds, I might get really upset. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
If I go to the scale and I see the scale is exactly the same, my clothes are exactly the same, the body composition is exactly the same, however, I still did my workouts, then I could go, well, I intended to do my workouts and I did it, and this is where it is, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's not result driven. I mean, it's result driven, but you're not focused so much on the result as more of the action.
Yeah.
I did the action. I did what I set out to do.
Yeah.
And if I didn't get the results I wanted, I'm not gonna beat myself up or ridicule myself because of that, because I still accomplished the action.
So in the beginning of the Fall Wellness Collective, one of the things I told everyone was, let's say that your goal is 10% or 10 pounds, and you set out a plan to lose approximately 10 pounds. If you completed your goals at 100% if you completed your exercise and your nutrition, like you followed your plan 100%, then you would most likely lose the 10 pounds, assuming hormones are okay, sleep is okay. But your plan was to lose 10 pounds, and you made the plan, I'm going to eat exactly this many calories, this much macros, and I'm going to exercise this much, and that would yield me losing 10 pounds by such and such date. Okay. If you did that 100% effort, then you would lose your 10 pounds. However, life gets in the way. Things happen. And you actually only may have done your plan and worked out and ate what you were planning on eating 50% of the time. You only did 50%. Would you be okay with losing 5 pounds? Wouldn't your 5 pounds be better than 0% and losing 0 pounds and possibly even gaining weight? And
of course.
Most everyone said yes, absolutely. So I'm not saying that you're going at this, for lack of better terms, half-assed. It's better. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. Everyone said, hey, I would rather lose 5 pounds than nothing, and I'm going to do my absolute best. Whenever I can give 100%, I'm going to give my 100%. Overall, average, I know some little kid's going to come home with a snot nose and throwing up. So it's going to deter me, or whatever is going to happen. So that is kind of the overall feeling that I have, and the culture that we were trying to create within our group. And if you would like to know about the next one, I have one coming up in November, and that is going to take us through from November before Thanksgiving through the end of December. I am not asking for 100% effort 100% of the time. I'm asking for 100% effort 70% of the time. There are going to be meals that are going to slip in there, or that are going to be intentionally brought in for Christmas and Thanksgiving or whatever holidays that you celebrate. And but this is still going to have an overall better result than just having no intention at all, no health plan at all. And you have the opportunity to get through this holiday season feeling amazing by January. And when January rolls around, you're starting a new year, you're going to be better than you would have been had you not done it. And if you'd like to know more about that, then go to my Facebook page, either at Cassels or at Creation Living and send me a message, and then I'll get you the link to get that. And we will get that started. Okay. And then the last thing, what? Go ahead. Did you have a question?
I don't have a question.
Sir?
No, I was just, as you're talking, I'm thinking, squirrel. But no, I was thinking about just some of the things you were saying about being 100% and some of the struggles that I would have when it came to setting a goal and putting a plan together and then working that plan. If I deviated from that plan at any way, I felt like I've messed the whole plan up. So I would not want to continue it, and I would say I'm going to start fresh again on this day.
Oh, then you just blow it the rest of the days.
And then the rest of the week I'd be like, screw it, I don't know how to work my plan. I'm free. I'm not going to have to worry about it till Monday, and I'm going to start fresh on Monday. A horrible aspect of how to do things, by the way. And I think part of my growth and some of my balance that I've started to learn lately is I had a horrible Saturday, Sunday, and Monday of this week. Nothing got done. Everything was pulled away. And normally I would have just said, screw it, I'm going to pick it up on Monday. Well, instead, I just woke up Tuesday morning and I started to work my Tuesday plan. I just did what I was supposed to do Tuesday. And the joy and the fulfillment I got out of that, because I accomplished it as opposed to waiting 5-6 days down the road to start again, it was very, very gratifying. And I was thankful that I didn't do what I normally did, and I just took control of that right there in that day. And then the next day I did it again, and the next day I did it again. And here we are, Thursday, and I'm right back on track like nothing happened.
I am so proud of you.
Oh,
I'm very proud of you. That's good.
Thanks.
That's real good. Good wise words.
Good wise words.
That's good wise word. Good wise words.
I do pay attention to you sometimes.
You do. I'm proud of that. Okay, the next thing that I wanted to introduce was my Tuesday nights Healthy Habits Zoom. And this is done with Terry Bonnin. By the way, on Tuesday nights, I need to be on a Zoom call.
Jesus.
Is that okay?
Here, you announce it and then you ask?
Yeah. So Tuesday nights, Bonnie.
This is how it works around here, boys and girls.
Tuesday nights, Terry Bonnin and I are teaching something called the Healthy Habits Academy, or starting the Healthy Habits Academy. And this will be done from now. Our commitment is from now till the end of the year. Every Tuesday night, I think around 6 p.m., 6:30 p.m., something like that. And we will be discussing healthy habits for yourself, for your home, for your children, for the whole family. And this is going to be such an amazing way for you to learn simple habits that you can bring forward for everyone and into the new year. If you're not able to make one, that's fine. Each class is standalone, and it's easily done from the comfort of your home or on your phone.
Are you recording them?
We will be recording it, I think. Maybe not. I don't know.
I think you should record them. And then post them. And then the people that can't make it Tuesdays have an opportunity to still listen.
Okay, we'll record them.
So, if you communicate with your partner on things instead of dropping it right in the middle of
live on air
podcast, and maybe I can bring some insight to you as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, a lot of the things that we're going to be talking about is the products that are used in your home. As y'all know, I am a huge essential oil user, and I use them for everything from whether it's
in you, on you, and around you.
It just sounds weird.
That doesn't.
Kind of sounds weird. I can make
what's on you, what's around you.
I can make supplements out of my essential oils. Literally, drop the herbs in an oil capsule. I can use them for cleaning. Take a bath with them. Put them on my skin for different reasons.
Doctor up our teenager when she has a sickness that we did the other day.
Basically everything. So we're going to be teaching a lot of this on our Healthy Habits Academy Zoom on Tuesday nights. So again, if you have some questions about that, find me on Instagram at @Cassels or at Creation Living, and you'll be able to join in. All right. Thanks so much, everyone, for joining us on our podcast this lovely Thursday.
Yes.
Happy Thursday. We'll talk to you next time. Have a great day. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to another episode of According to the Cassels with Amy and Trey. Be sure to subscribe wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. To stay up to date with the Cassels, follow Amy on Instagram at @acassels. Until next time, have faith, enjoy life, and love abundantly.